Welcome to the In My Opinion show, formerly produced and directed by Ronald Barry Robinson of Detroit, who offered urban listeners, many of whom identify as Democrats, a balanced view of opinions and ideas. Ron Robinson has provided me with this excellent opportunity. Ron's work has also inspired the emergence of other conservative talk shows that have surpassed the In My Opinion show by miles. Most notable is the George Morse Show, which is aired here every Tuesday. George Morse
Every Monday.
is, every Monday, I should say, George Morse is an intellectual, well versed in governance, history, and philosophy. He is respected by many of his audience for his style, taste, and tone, which avoids manipulative rhetoric and resonates with audiences, especially those who are committed to preserving the democracy in these challenging times. I have an interesting guest today who is running for the Congress of the United States. His name is Amir Hassan. He is the first time candidate for that position and will provide you with an excellent experience in advocacy, not only for the ideas that he advocate and believe in, but also the ones that you believe in. So, um, welcome, Amir. Who is
Well,
Amir Hassan?
well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you giving me the time and allowing me to introduce myself to the district and the country. So, I'm born and raised in Flint, Michigan. Born in Hurley Hospital, graduated from the Flint public school system, and then became a Navy veteran. I did 7.5 years in the United States Navy as a police officer and as intelligence analyst. Following my Navy career, I went into federal law enforcement. Um, with multiple different agencies specializing in protection and protection of federal buildings, federal entities, also federal cabinet secretaries. So I have a wide range of experience on the federal side and law enforcement side. I am very much a law enforcement military man.
Well, let me first of all thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. Thank
And I say that on behalf of all of the people who are watching this program and who believe in you and who want to hear more about a great American
you. Absolutely.
who protect us from ourselves and from the enemy abroad.
Absolutely. It's showing that our enemy is now ideologies. And
Okay. Amir, let me ask you a touchy question.
yes,
Why are you seeking the position of representative to Congress without building residency in lower positions first?
I am a resident, but the
No,
thing,
I meant building
like,
reputation and starting with
on lower level of
yes.
politics.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, representation comes in many forms. A lack of representation has came in a consistent form. Um, Building myself through politics. I'm not a political man. As I don't, I'm not a politician. I'm a working man. I'm a man of law enforcement. I'm a man of law and order. I'm an American patriot. And that's what we need to represent this district. Far too long, we've seen the left and their politicians on stage promising hope, promising change, promising things that are going to make your life more easy and convenient, and it has never came. We are tired of politicians just saying the things that people want to hear. I am a man of the people just because I had no intentions growing up to be a politician. I wanted to raise my family in a place that was safe, that we had opportunities where I could see my friends and their kids, my parents could see their grandchildren grow. And because of failed leadership of those politicians, those very politicians that came up through politics, um, it led me to where I am now.
So you, if I may say, live on the order of the President of the United States,
Absolutely. Right.
not a politician.
No.
But there was a time, Amir, politicians were considered the most admired people because they knew how to support their ideas. It was called rhetoric, and they were good at it. But today, people run for political parties to tell people what they want to hear. For example, if you knew that your position as a congressman, if elected, requires you to raise the taxes for good causes, you know, then that's what you have to tell people. You have to let them know, but you do it tactfully through the way the rhetoricians do. And I'm exhausted here with a defeated attitude when I see people just berate politicians. Not all politicians are bad.
No.
No, not all of them. There are some good politicians out there, and they go there to do the job. They represent the people the way that they're supposed to. But the ones who go there to serve in positions of power and influence, only to ingratiate themselves with wealth and
Yeah.
progress and use a lot of noise to convince people that they are the right choice for those positions. So you're not that kind of person,
We're
right?
not that. I don't come from money. I don't come from a family that is putting me up to the task. I come from the people. I come from this education system. I come from this district. I come from the people that I want to serve. The difference between me and the aforementioned uh, politicians, I'm a voice of the people here. So whatever Washington says and whatever the district says, I'm the meeting point. I'll convey our message and what we need for this district to Washington. I'll convey the message that Washington says back to the district. There is no I in this. This is the eighth
Oh,
congressional
we,
district. It's a we. It's in
we.
all four counties, and it's Genesee, Midland, Saginaw, and Bay counties to be
Mhm.
specific. This is for everyone. This no longer is it put a person on the pedestal and they represent you just off what
Are
they
you any
think.
part of Oakland County?
No part of Oakland County. No, sir.
Okay,
It's
okay.
Midland, Saginaw,
They
Genesee, and Bay.
gerrymandered it.
They did gerrymander it.
Yes.
They brought Midland into it as well. Parts of Tuskegee County as well.
Um, Let me ask you, since you're talking about your district, like, describe your district with respect to age, race, and gender.
Okay. We have a middle age, so it's millennial and boomer age. So we're looking at primarily 25 to 75 years old. Um, Demographically, race wise, we're looking at 70% white, 15% black, and other is the other 15%. So, um, but when we're looking at Genesee County, we're looking at 52% of the district, and you're looking at a different race gap. So it's
See, now
50%.
this is what your audience love to hear. Love to hear people who understand statistics and just don't go by um, innuendo and guessing. You have to follow the data. And I think you did a good job in showing the data here. And the audience should really realize that you are a person that pays attention to data and what the data says to you. And I believe that that's what you've done.
No,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. It's all about data and numbers, statistics.
now, back in 2016, I think it was, many Americans had predicted that 15% of Black males would break from the Democrat Party and join the Bush. I mean, join Trump.
John
Do
Republican
you
Party,
do you know whether I haven't paid too much attention to the statistics,
right?
but could they move the needle? Do you know how important it is to move the needle?
Absolutely. So look,
If you cannot move the needle, get out of the road and let other people take over.
that's the beautiful thing about this opportunity we have in this particular race. not only being a Republican conservative candidate, but also being a black guy from the inner city. We look at how we're going to move the needle. And what President Trump has done over the last three cycles, 2%, 2%, 2% black males in this district. We're going to see a nationwide increase in black males, especially my demographic of the millennial black males, coming to the Republican side just because we were aligned with the Democratic Party, not out of trust, not out of understanding and respect, just because of cultural conditioning. Simple and plain. There was no reason to be Democrats other than everybody else around us were Democrats. When you become a man, when you start having children, when you start wanting safe parks and you want the respect of working hard and having opportunities because you work hard, the opportunity for success is what's promised. It's not success. The opportunity of success is promised when you work hard. And when you became a man, you understand that. You want that for your children. So if you want safe streets, if you want a fair market, entrepreneurial opportunities, that's what comes with the Republican Party and the Republican ideals. And I believe men of my age and men of my generation who were raised by men of previous generations understand and want those opportunities and are tired of what's being pushed on us and our children because it's not helpful, it's harmful, and it's deceitful.
I think that our audience is really going to like you
Yeah,
because I was skeptical of you and whether you would do a good job, whether you would be strong like a Republican ought to be, that can face adversity, stand up to it, challenge it, and be successful over time. You don't win them all,
no,
but people listen to the words that come in and out of your mouth. And what I hear you saying, they're words of substance and believability. And I think that they would listen to you. Now, here, how in this time, how should we treat the subject of race?
right,
Yeah, how do you,
right.
in times that anybody could call you a racist? But I'm going to ask you and include in your testimony here the difference between race and racism,
Okay.
because you got 333 million subjects with different ideas of what red is. It used to be we only had race that was defined by color, and now it's everybody has kind of dovetailed in on that racial deal, and we have to admit that many Caucasian Americans, when they came to this country, they adulterated their blood by having children by my grandfather. You can see that my eyes are blue and green.
Right,
And
right.
yet we have this argument. I just heard this argument. We got to go there. I'm going to let you
Yeah,
finish this, and then I'm going to go there, and we're going to talk about eye color
right.
and see how you.
Well, I made it a
Yeah,
note not to look
okay.
you in your eyes, first of all. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we want to come back there, but right now you're going to talk about race.
So listen, serving in the military, serving in law enforcement, I have worked with someone from everywhere, right? Every race, gender, ethnicity, whatever you want to classify yourself as. I would encourage people to turn off the TV and go outside. If you think it's a racist country, turn off the TV and go outside and see how many racist encounters you're going to have. You're not going to be able to count them on your hand over the course of your life. We live in a time where the powers that be want you to think that it's the most detrimental time to your life to be black, to be gay, to be something different than what mainstream. The truth is, this is the safest time. This is the best time. The country is not perfect. The world is not perfect, but racism is not your biggest challenge in life. And if it is, you have a pretty good life because that is we have people that cannot feed themselves, don't have job opportunities. We have people that are um, don't see loved ones because they're deployed. You have real issues going on, and to focus on something that is not a daily occurrence and really probably is more so. the way you interpret things versus what's really happening to you. Um, that's how I would discuss race, and that's just not speaking to black people. That's not speaking to white people. That's speaking to all people.
Then let me let me say this. The United States is no longer a Eurocentric nation.
Right?
It is a pluralistic democracy.
Absolutely.
And this is the only way you can get rid of that pluralism is through nature. This is being driven by nature, not by man. Man impedes it, but he can't stop it. Over time, it's just like if you you put different fish in a bowl, uh,
Eventually.
they will.
But let me say this about this, Henry. There's nothing wrong with people loving their race or their culture.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with it, and I will say this to specific groups because you are the majority, right? And because you profess a love for your culture and where you're from and the people that share like things, that does not make you a racist. That does not make you a racist. And that's for any group. You can love yourself, you can love your culture, you can love your history, your legacy, you can love it all and not be a racist. First of all, let's describe what racism is. Racism
yeah.
is a power structure, right?
Okay.
Racism is not individual. I dislike you because of your race. That's prejudice. That's bigotry. Racism is a system. Racism is when a system is set up against a particular set of people based off of identifiable characteristic as race to make sure they don't get ahead. So you calling another person on the street racist because you exchanged unpleasantries, that does not qualify as a racist. That qualifies as an argument and heated
Oh,
words.
I like that analysis.
Yeah.
But we got to come back to that.
Okay.
And I hope that you're still consistent with that view. And you're right. Um, but you do have to like who you are.
Gotta love who you are.
If you were half Irish
Right.
and half African American or Black American,
Right.
you have to love that. You can't change that.
Why would you want to change? And who said you should change? Who said? Listen, there's enough on the Republican Party for everybody. The true party of, if you want to say DEI, this is the party of diversity on the
Yeah.
Republican side. The first black congressman in the state of Michigan is Republican. So after all these years, the Democrats have been loving you for all these years and have invested so much in the community. They never put anybody that looked like you up to represent them. That it's freedom on this side. It's not about race. It's not about where you're from and who you are. It's freedom. It's the freedom to be who you want to be as an American. As long as you believe in the American system, you contribute to the American system. The American system will contribute and believe in you. And you have the opportunity now, but we cannot allow others to shape our narrative and shape our destiny.
um, let's look at some touchy issues here,
Sure.
and it has to do with race. For example, do you believe that reparations should be paid to a contemporary American who were enslaved generations ago,
But no,
but
no,
who are now not suffering through that?
nobody is enslaved in America now. Not
So,
physically. Some of us
what do
are
you say
changed
about
mentally.
reparations?
I said no.
You say no.
I said no to reparations.
Then you, and so do I. I think that with the resources declining, the population rise, we got to figure out a better way to live together with the resources that are left. The world is finite. It only has so much resources. It only has so much
Yeah, but it's not.
fossil fuel.
It's not about. To me, it's not about lack of resources because we've shown when we want to spend money on things, we can spend money on things. It's not that. It's less that, and to me, it's more so. For one, nobody living today were enslaved. Now, the effects of slavery are real. They're studied, and statistics show they are. But money doesn't do it. We gave the world or the country a stimulus package during COVID. It boosted the economy and then it raised the inflation. If we're talking about being Americans less divisive, uh, it's already been admitted that slavery was a bad thing, and we had to move on forward. Giving Black Americans because they were their family maybe were enslaved, because all of us don't know, because the history books don't purely reflect who was who. And that doesn't benefit anyone outside of a person who wants something for something they didn't go through. Uh,
Um, that's a great point. Now, if you go back, do you know who Thomas Sowell is?
I'm aware of
You
Thomas
have his
Sowell. Yeah,
books.
I have a few of his
Okay.
books.
Thomas Sowell would say no to reparation. He would say no to affirmative action. What do you say to affirmative action?
Listen, I'm a military guy, so I can speak on being in the military. I can speak on being in law enforcement. I have plenty of diversity in my friends groups, the guys I served and worked with. Plenty. I can call them now all middle class Americans, all living the American dream, all providing for their family. Diversity is already included. Now, I would say for people who are worried about DEI and affirmative action, stop applying to places that don't want you. That's what I would say. If that's your thing, if you think you need the government to step in for that, stop applying to places that don't want you. Create your own. America is a place where you can create your own business. Everybody has, not everybody, but a lot of people have flourished doing it. Um, we have to get out of this mindset that somebody owes us something. We have to get out of this mindset that we need the government to step in and fight our battles. No, you have the ability to create your own. You should rely on yourself. Rely on the things. Now, I'll tell you where you should go. You should go into the trades. Electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, construction men. Those jobs are going unfulfilled. You don't need DEI or affirmative action to go to the jobs that are paying. Teachers, nurses, those jobs are going unfulfilled. And we know nurses are well staffed and well paid because, you know, a lot of people here were RNs or,
Wow, what an inspiring talk this is.
yeah,
I'm learning something too.
yeah,
I'm learning something about backbone, courage, truth.
that's the truth. You don't, we're raised, but the thing is, I'm a Flintstone. My grandfathers both, one came from Alabama, one came from Arkansas during times where they didn't have opportunities. In 1930s, they weren't talking about affirmative action. They weren't talking about DEI. They were looking at to see whose grass could they cut, whose fence could they build, whose factory could they get into. It's that mindset. Now things are different in 2025, but the mindset is you have to survive, you have to provide, you have to protect, you have to give your children a better life than you already have. And waiting for somebody else to fight or fix something is not going to work. And if we're speaking of even further, if we fix the foundation, everything else will prosper. So once everybody has jobs, once everybody are going into the trades and the recession proof occupations, then we can build upon that. But we have to fix the foundation first. There's cracks in our structure of the American foundation because of delusion, because of false ideologies or indoctrination that's happening from the left, in my opinion, from the left that's destabilized the family first and then the structure that came directly from the family.
Well said. Thank you.
Absolutely. I
You,
appreciate you.
I think the audience would be as impressed with you as they were with Clarence Pierce.
Like
Yeah,
I said, Mr. Pierce is
these
a
are
hard act to follow.
these are Black Americans rising on
Absolutely.
their own energy, their own enthusiasm, and their own wealth of comfort. Now, you've been in the military, as you say, you've served the country, you've done well, and we all thank you for that. And you're a good American because you are got a focus on in this time when our country is falling apart. You are not bitter. You've been a Black American, and
But
you've gone through. You haven't gone through Jim Crow as
no,
perhaps I have, or your dad has, or many of the other people who are bitter yet for that. But the world belongs to you
absolutely.
and your generation for tomorrow. You got
Absolutely.
to live with people that don't look like you. And then you got to compete with the AI.
No,
So,
that's the beautiful thing. What you're speaking of, Henry, are the challenges we're facing going forward, and we're still talking about it. a quote unquote challenge we've had for the last 50 or 100 or 400 years. No, look at the challenges now. We are having a beautiful time in the world. 2025, you have the ability to create your pathway. Go study coding, go study AI. That is the future. Nothing's going to stop you from doing that. There is no boundaries or limitations when you study the new wave. Stay ahead of the wave and you'll be okay.
Okay, now another question. Do you believe that any candidate seeking the public trust should understand the pillars of the Constitution and follow the
Pillars of
pillars of the Constitution unequivocally?
yes. You know, I just got back from a trip from France not too long ago.
Explain.
I just got back from a trip to France not too long ago, and they were saying that their constitution was changed or rewritten over 30 times. And so when I look at our constitution and how it stood the test of time, right? With the Bill of
250 years next
and,
year.
and so you see how could people be so clairvoyant back in the day, 250 years ago at this point, to write something of that nature?
So you
I
do
agree.
believe,
No,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
To be
okay.
clear, yeah, I believe. And
I
I
got to
was just
keep
saying how
going
perfect of a
real
document
quickly.
it
I got to
is.
be short because we
Yeah.
only our time is coming to an end, Amir. Uh, should there be a national referendum developing criteria consistent with the intent of the founding fathers
Yeah.
that relies, that believes a free and democratic nation best served by educated people?
Yes. Yes. You need to be educated. I propose that we rewrite the whole national curriculum. I believe we should get rid of each of these special months.
Yes. Then you're aligned with the young people of your generation because that's where they want to go. And they don't want to, and well, the data shows that many young people who belong to the stable culture here, that is mostly whites and Asians, believe that affirmative action and reparations would rob them of their natural inheritance. Where they were not responsible for the actions of their forefathers, and therefore should not be held guilty for it.
Yeah.
Their responsibility now is to those who live in this generation. You cannot go take the wisdom of today's generation back
Right.
150 years and say, you guys were wrong in doing this,
Right.
this, and this.
Right. No,
Agree?
it's evolution. It's
Yes.
we evolve and we learn, we make changes, and then on top of it, that's taxpayer money.
Okay, my last question. Define a plausible way in which Black Americans can create generational wealth. That's another thing that's high on the minds of Black Americans.
What they say the eighth wonder of the world is interest. You know, I'm not a economist and I'm not a stockbroker or anything that deals with money, but I do know interest. Compound interest is the way you build generational wealth.
Okay,
So,
that's one
so, so
reason.
the beautiful thing is what you do to build generational wealth is you find your spouse, right? Your man, you find your wife, you stay with that woman, you build a stable foundation, you have children, and then if you're a dual income and you can afford to, you have one income that pays the necessities and you have one income that you invest. And then you have other routes. If you become an entrepreneur, you can, spread your entrepreneurial wings. But investing in compound interest is the simplest way for somebody to build generational wealth. Invest. Let's not invest in things that don't pay us back. Invest in things that you make money from while you sleep. You work while you're awake, and you let your money work while you sleep. That's the best way to build generational wealth.
Well, and there are a lot of sources around that. There are other ways that you can do it. If you work together and
Absolutely.
develop a plan, because when I was chairman of the Republican Party, the finance chairman, I wrote an article and indicated to them that we have 10,000 Americans out of the 78,000 people who work for General Motors Corporation that earn $3,000 a month. Now, if we were to take 10% of that and save it for the first year. And over the multiple numbers here, we would have $30 million at the end of the first year. And then the end of the second year, and this is compounded. It's uh, over 10 years, we would have $3.3 million.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean
sorry.
the numbers don't lie. Listen, the numbers don't lie. But what I would say to you on that is, at this point of our lives, at this point of where we are in this country, we should do that with like-minded individuals and not base it off. The only similarity a lot of us have is skin color. We need to base it off people that want to be free. So if
Yes.
you want to be free, if you want to be able to play with your kids in a safe environment, if you want to show them the opportunities the world has to offer, the state, the district has to offer, if you want to be um, a just a true American citizen and live the life that we were promised through hard work, I would suggest they do something of that nature. I would suggest all people uh, to really write down what they want out of this life, and when they see the country as, and then come out and show support. This is I am a Republican. I am the new face of the Republican Party going forward. Not to say I represent the entire Republican Party, but what I am saying is you're going to see more people that look like me, that have shared similar backgrounds as I do, coming to the Republican Party and speak up prouder. No longer are we going to be in the shadows. I think it's going to be a lot of demographic shifting going on, just simply because um, we're represented better on this side, and we naturally align with conservative ideals, and no longer will we be conditioned to think a party that has never really represented or cared about us is going to do so in the future. So going forward, I recommend everybody come out, and when you see me, let's have a conversation, and I can explain to you why.
Amir, our time has been passed. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we have to end it there, but I hope that you come back and I hope that Republicans will watch this show and see how powerful the black element that has been left behind will be to the Republican Party in its change. It cannot win an election, a
Without it,
presidential election, without the black vote.
right? It's gonna come
So
in droves.
you're a good example. You're a good American,
Yes,
and
sir.
I hope that you will come back. And I hope that people will call in and let them know what they think about you.
Well, please come reach out to me at Hassan4mi.com. That is HASSAN 4mi.com. That's my website. You can reach me directly on there. There's links for support. Support is what gets the message out and allows me to do have conversations like this where I can speak directly to you. I look forward to meeting each and every one of the constituents of the district, patriots of the country. And remember one thing: no matter what side it's coming from, it's supposed to make America better, a better place for our kids, a better place to grow, a better place to be prosperous. So understand who's working in your favor and who's working against you.
Last question. Did you meet your objective today to prove uh, to the voting population that you will make the Republican Party better
Well, let me say it like this.
and that
Yes,
you will help it to win elections
right.
that it would not otherwise win?
I'm confident I can win. I'm confident I
Now,
can
but
win.
also, it's a
Mhm.
process. Even there are other people that need to win too.
Right, right,
We have left that whole angle behind
right.
and didn't think about it. But you have to be good enough to move the needle.
Mhm, mhm.
Are we going to be able to move the needle in a year or two?
Absolutely. We're already
Okay.
moving the needle. We're already moving the needle.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, son. I mean, thank you, Amir. We have to leave it there
Yes,
because
sir.
our time is past, and you've been a great candidate, um, a great speaker, and you've given us something to think about as we ponder who we will vote for uh, the position that you now run.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
the district
This is the
today?
eighth congressional
Eighth
district.
congressional district chair.
Yeah. So
Thank you. That's it. That's the end of the show is now concluded. And I'm going to sign off. This is Henry Hatter saying until next time, stay focused.